Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Balog, and this is Your Brain in the News, a monthly digest of news that can improve mind, brain, body health. And this is Volume 1, Number 3 for March of 2023. And we're going to have a little change in our format here. I think it'll be very informative. And if you could hit the like and subscribe buttons, that will help us a lot here at 1,000 Moms, and it will uh, kind of pay off for. There's a lot of work that goes into these videos, but thank you for watching. So, in this issue, we're going to cover stress, trauma, and your brain, talking without facts, what is woke and LGBTQ discrimination, and the COVID vaccine. It was no hoax. Well, why don't zebras get ulcers? This is a topic I talk about a lot in my books. Um, why don't zebras get ulcers and stress in our health? Well, as we follow with Dr. Robert Sapolsky, one of the scientists I was lucky enough to work with at the Dana Foundation for 12, 13 years, zebras uh, have a unique situation. Um, they're either running for their lives from a lion, um, and one of two things is going to happen: either the zebra will be lunch for the lion, or the zebra will survive, regain its breath, and be on its way. Humans, on the other hand, well, we have invented a ton of reasons, a ton of ways to keep stress going 24/7. And what that does is it activates the stress hormone cortisol, which does all sorts of nasty things to the body. And it is not designed, excuse me, it's designed to get us out of an emergency, like that zebra running from the lion. He's got extra blood, muscles working. Um, but for us, it's not a good thing to never turn it off because the stress hormone cortisol and others is a steroid, and it will damage practically every part of the body. Well, we want to talk about people talking without facts, and there are a bunch of them, and they reach a lot of people on the internet, and they don't seem to do their homework. And here are just a few of them. Um, I don't recommend watching them, but maybe you want to check them out. They have a lot to say, and we even have a governor who is running for president, it seems, and he does a lot of talking with a lot of facts, wrong or without them. And one of the things I have learned is, and this is Professor Jason Stanley from Yale University. He wrote the book How Fascism Works. And he says, and I agree, all of the people I mentioned before, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, these are not stupid people. They went to very, very high levels of learning, Harvard, Yale. They know what they're doing, which brings up a whole other question, which we're not going to get to today, but you need the facts. There's a saying that goes, you're certainly entitled to your opinions, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Well, what's in the news? Anti-trans, anti-gay, anti-everything, anti-woke. All of these drivers on the social media are really poisoning a lot of the conversation in public. um, and it's really difficult for me to watch. And I hope that somehow we can break the fever. Um, Anti-gay, particularly in the state of Florida, but it's everywhere. Um, why? Why is this happening? Um, the anti-trans movement is just it's hard to laugh, hard not to laugh. Um, but I want to share what this is scientist Eric Kandel, and I had the great fortune to work with him at the Dana Foundation, and he's a Nobel Prize winner, and he had this to say: advances in our knowledge of sexual development, well, are advancing. He said it better than this. Um, but he did say, and they are willfully being ignored. As Eric Kandel, Nobel Prize winning scientist Eric Kandel has said, the problem is urgent, particularly for transgender people of color who suffer horrifically high rates of depression, substance abuse, suicide, and murder. Speaking on a PBS special series, Dr. Kandel also said, brain science can be a liberating influence on our lives. As we understand the biology of our own gender identity and sexual orientation better and become more comfortable with ourselves, we've become more empathic to somebody. And we are still anti vax. Um, there seems to be no end to the lack of facts, and um, it's truly truly disturbing. Um, Death threats to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Um, he just recently retired from the NIH, and it's astonishing. We had a polio epidemic, and Dr. Jonas Salk came up with a vaccine, and this country worshipped him. He was a hero, and President Eisenhower was brought to tears by his work. And now we've devolved into hating vaccines, not understanding them. And one of the, here's the shot that saved many lives, uh, the COVID-19 vaccine, and part of the part of the lack of understanding, and we need to be very specific about this, is where how did that vaccine get developed so fast? That's one of the big questions from the skeptics. Well, we're in a new age of medicine, whether you know it or not. Like, with cars, we have electric motors, and that seems to be the wave of the future. It's happening now. Well, it's pretty much the same for medicine. We're in the genetic revolution, now 70 years old and going. And part of the reason that vaccine was able to be developed so fast was because of our understanding of genes, the stuff that makes life, the stuff that's in all 97 trillion cells in our bodies that make us who we are. And it is an exciting field. It's we turned a big corner in 1953 when Crick and Watson, who I had the great uh, uh, good fortune to work with, again at the Dana Foundation, they discovered this thing, the ladder. They needed to solve the puzzle how nature could pack all of the information. I mean, all of the information about who we are and how we behave into uh, the nucleus of a single cell and every cell. So it is what makes us, and the vaccine could not have been developed without this tremendous leap of understanding that we've made in genetics. Well, I want to conclude with an unlikely source of a quote, since I, 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 I worked for this man's speechwriter. The speechwriter was William Safire. The president here, of course, is Richard Nixon. But listen to what he said. We cannot learn from one another until we stop shouting at one another, until we speak quietly enough so that our words can be heard as well as our voices. And that is President Richard Nixon from his first inaugural in 1969. I want to quote another president. This is our second president, John Adams. Fascinating person. Um, and here's what he had to say about education. Well, this is what the researchers have said. And to a person the founders believed, and Adams was probably the chief founder, the chief architect of our Constitution. The founders believed that education, that is, an educated citizenry, was essential to maintaining the government. Jefferson created the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. Washington made major contributions to what would be Washington and Lee University. Franklin founded the institution that would become the University of Pennsylvania. He then served on the Board of Trustees. And for our second president, John Adams, education was a lifetime pursuit. When he went to Harvard University, son of a poor Massachusetts farmer, Adams declared himself a lifetime reader. He said that if you carried a book of poetry in your pocket, you would never be alone. Well, let's learn more about your brain. Worried about your memory? Click the link in the description below this YouTube video. Start reading for free. Memory is the key to all of our body's activities. It's what our brains do most. And it is crucial to education and to all activities we perform. Also, alcohol and the drugs. Learn how drugs hijack our brains. Click the link again in the description below this YouTube video. Start reading for free. Or go to www.healingthebrainbooks.com. And also, we have a book on the development of the COVID-19 vaccine. It is crucial that we learn this. I mean, more than 1 million Americans died in this pandemic. And had we had the vaccine as soon as it was ready, and it was only ready because of the 70 years of research that went into it. And it just took days to make the vaccine once they had the genetic code. So I urge you to learn more about that. It's the future. It's now. It's being practiced in hospitals. There's a technology called CRISPR that will be the future of medicine. And it's already saving lives. Cancer patients are being saved by this technology. So let's get smart. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, as I said, and give us your support, or share the original email with a friend or a colleague. And remember, all the links will be in the description below this video. Thank you for watching. Be well. Be kind.